Hello, hello from the Pacific Northwest. El Fuego, appreciate you, buddy. Fast Rings, BT. And we're looking at a warhorse over here. And I don't know if there's a guy that does it. Wait, wrong camera, Ernie. Over here. Any kind of 50% off discount codes at anything at kicker.com. Anyway, let's get this show going. It's Friday and beautiful weather. But without further ado, let's get this show going. Yeah, I know. I'm behind.
Livin Loud.
Come on, guys. Smash the like. Appreciate ya. 14 watching already. What are you guys doing? You know the thing that goes like this? Yeah. Look at Dave right now. Come on, man. Just smash the like. Love you guys. Come on, Jake. Come on now. Appreciate you tuning in, though, man. And we are back in action. It's Friday, and everything's working. SJC for the win. Brian Townsend gifted 5 memberships right out the gate to the Green Team.
Green Team.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you, Brian, for gifting those memberships. And, man, just thank you for always supporting the channel, tuning in, being here with us. And as an individual, you are awesome. Thank you so much, man. And the Green Team, I did tweak a few things since the entire computer had a meltdown and almost ran into some issues today. But, it's just like car audio. When you run into one problem and you run into it again, you kind of know what to look for, what to look at to fix it the next time. Thank you, El Fuego. I need to move that up just a little bit here because it's underneath there. I need it above there. There we go. Would you look at that? El Fuego with a $10 super chat. Thank you, El Fuego. My best weekends always start with Livin Loud with Andy. And I'm sorry I missed you guys for a few Fridays here. It's just insane in the membrane, but Tuesdays we still be kicking it. But let's keep going. We're on a roll now. And all the friends in the audio community tuning in. Big shout out to Cornut for all his help. And we love Cornut, man. This guy's everywhere.
Cornut.
He is an awesome individual, and likewise to yourself, O Fuego. Appreciate you so much for always just tuning in, being here, and thank you so much for the $10 super chat. And it's Friday. You know the deal. Appreciate you, man. And yeah, let's see here. Other than the entire studio might not work, all the fancy things we got going on here. Yeah, we got a camera and a mic, but I like everything else and all your guys' money that goes to this channel. Your names come up on here and you just see everything, and I'm like, dude, that's not working. That's half the show. And spent about 7 to 9 hours working on this computer last night with the help of SFFV, SJC, the Superman with a cape. Came to the rescue and we got it working, and appreciate him so much for just being an awesome guy, man. Thank you, Andy McGill. Appreciate you. I have the auto. It's always tweaking something here, man. Either way, got it. I haven't had anything in a week, but man, I want one the way today is going. Man, SDK, I appreciate you tuning in, and I was gonna pull that up. I just seen it on Facebook. Getting ready for the stream like how I do, and I was like, oh, would you look at that? All the SDK enclosure prefabs for trucks. That's awesome, man. I love how you guys are doing that, and I feel like that's the way. Not everybody needs a custom to the T enclosure, but just something that works, and it's kind of designed in a way to sound good and play a little bit of wasted information compared to a lot of other boxes out there, man. Big time, big time. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that you are here, sir. Cedric, man, I love you, buddy. It has been insane in the membrane, like I said, but I want to help you out. It's looking like Sunday after the Steeler game. We got Saturday filming. Tonight after, we got to hang out in the after party on the Discord and maybe see if I can do some water changes in the meantime. The fish are jumping out of the tanks. The power went out and all the filters weren't working anymore. I'm like, no, the water level's too low. I need to do this. But hey, alongside, thank you so much for doing what you do, tuning in, and I hope you and your wife are doing well, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. Scott, on my way to work, so just a quick hello. Thank you for tuning in, Scott. Appreciate that you're here, and just checking the box. I appreciate it, man. Every time I miss a Friday show or any show in general, it feels terrible. And I know you guys, rearrange your schedules, even just to say hi or just to tune in for the whole 60 to 90 minutes-ish. I appreciate you guys big time, man. Oh, it's Double E. Of course it's Double E. I know, I'm like, wait, Scott is that guy. Thank you for tuning in, Simon Staley. Appreciate you sharing and just being everywhere on the interwebs. You guys are awesome. We got 17 on YouTube and 6 on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, give it a like, give it a share. Thank you, Dubby. I appreciate you for the like. Those only pop up if you're watching on Livin Loud with Andy Facebook page. Check it out. It's pretty cool. I wish it would do it for everything, but Streamlabs, they have limitations, man. Crazy that I run across this chat. Thank you for tuning in, Nolan. And this is what we do, car audio. And I don't know if you found me from the shorts or the YouTube videos that I put out once a couple quarters of a year. But they're quality. And we just finished up testing this JP40 down for sound amplifier. and it did awesome. You know, it's an LFP. I know everyone wants 15, 16 volts nowadays, but still, it's got a lot of power, and it looks like an amplifier, but it's not. It's a battery. Thank you for tuning in, Nolan and Budget Audio with Jay, Andy, or Cookie. Hey, it depends which way the cookie crumbles. I'll take either one, and thank you for tuning in. I don't know, Cookie Monster, what do you think? Do you want me or you want cookies?
Cookies. No, Andy. Cookies and trophies.
All right, well, you heard it from him, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, Budget, and hope you're doing well. Keep up the car audio content. After a while, it gets kind of a little bit of tiresome, but you got to keep going, and you got it, man. You got it. Appreciate you, buddy. Budget J for the win. Appreciate you, El Fuego. Oh, man, question. How many Spider Spacers do you think the new Down for Sound subs have? You know, when I hear Spacers, I don't know, man. It just, to me, being a noob, it's like, it can't be great, but it sounds like it does something, right? Just like wheel spacers, you know, makes your truck all wide and everything, but it's like a terrible thing to do for performance. So I would assume it would be the same kind of concept with a subwoofer, maybe to make it go a little bit further. I don't know. But either way, I don't know, but it is cool that they did come out with a subwoofer, subwoofers. I think it's the Down for Sound X or something like that. Either way, I think it's just they're hitting the car audio market right where they need to, and everybody has their opinions on each individual, you know, company in general, let alone a distributor making their own brand as that as well. It's kind of like Walmart, man. You know, the great value stuff, I buy it. Maybe not every product, but I do buy it, and I know you guys might too. And I feel like it's not just that. Great value, I think that's a little bit more on the Terra amp side of things, of just price, but still, either way, it's cool that they did that, and they came out with subwoofers to go along with their amplifiers and mid-range and super tweeters, just everything that you might possibly need. They're having it as a one-stop shop, and I think that's cool. It's a nod, because car audio community it's not TVs and just regular radios, where we are a smaller market in the grand scheme of things, and it's just cool that they did that. All right, cool. Yeah, I've been tweaking this. Now I can see this a lot better with just the comments. It looks a lot more like StreamYard, and it just, yeah, it's much better. I can actually read. I'm like, what is that? I can't even read. It's so tiny. Need a new cone for my OG 18 Solo X. Please help me, someone, the loser. Well, man, you know, I don't want to say the name correlates, but you might lose on this situation. What I would recommend, if you're trying to revive an old one, I get it. You know, I would say literally look everywhere. They do pop up randomly, but people want gold and silver for them. I would wait for the new 18. It's coming. It is coming. You know, and I know a guy that has like 12 of them. He's hoarding them all. I only got 3, but still, I'm on my last one, and it's the one signed by Steve Irby, the owner, and it's still playing. It's in Cookie. That's what I took to Slam, took to Mecca, and just competed with, and I'm trying to take it easy, but it's something about that signature, man. I think it's just, it's got a little bit extra juice in there. Either way, I hope you find something. We don't have any selling listings in Kicker Club, and that's a double-edged sword, but still, you could probably ask in there if anybody has one, and then take your communication elsewhere. It's just, we don't want bots going in there saying, I got a Solo X 18 for $400, and everyone's like, oh, take my money, and it's a scammer, and that happens. The Cookie Monster is awesome. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that, man. He is a individual and a system, and I don't know, man. He is just all over the place. And but no, I love the build, and it's come a long way. That means the world. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Time for some rumbling. Thank you, Aaron Ronald. Would you look at that? Now it's got little emojis on there for Facebook. That's cool. I like that. Appreciate you watching, tuning in on Facebook. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you, Aaron. Bobby B. There is Bobby B. Of course it's Bobby.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
He's up in here every Tuesday and Friday, tuning in, hanging out, having a great time, and appreciate you, man. Yeah, if you guys seen, I know there was a lot of comments, which is good, on the JP 40 battery. If you guys had any questions or, you know, any thoughts on it, on the side of things, I feel like pretty much the main core of people that, you know, tune into the shows probably already seen it, but still, if you got any questions, I would be happy to ask them, man. Answer them. Got earplugs. Kicker front row. I got a hold of one. Those are pretty cool. One of these, but it's missing the control knob. Any idea where and how to get a hold of one? Thanks for any info. I think it's going to be impossible to find from Cincinnati. Now, it never hurts to give Kicker a call. You know, you can call customer service, or you can email social at Kicker. You can message them on Facebook, Instagram, whichever way, and see if you can get your question answered, because they might be able to, well, yeah, tech support too. They might be able to do something. I don't know. Or maybe just help you out to get it running again. You know, when you lose the little knobbies on the front, I don't know exactly which one it is. I think that one's got a few on there, but that's a pretty old item, so I don't know what they could possibly do. And worst case scenario, and it's terrible, but like, you know, find another one, and it's really hard to do that, as you already got lucky and found one. See if you can make something work. But yes, give Kicker a ring, see what they have to say, and then let me know. You know where I'm at. I appreciate you got earplugs for tuning in, man. Hope you're doing well, sir. Dubby, Thumper, I sent you a confirmation email. You got to reply back. If you did, I'm sorry I didn't get to look at it yet, but I did send you the confirmation email. I was actually almost behind by 2 weeks. I was waiting on some more codes for you guys, and then I got those, and I sent that one out that I already owed 2 weeks ago, and I got you set up, and I just haven't had time to just take a look at it. Last night I came upstairs just to turn the computer on and add a few more things, and none of the things on the top right or any of these stream elements down here were not working. And I'm like, no, that is a lot that's not working. And that took up my entire day yesterday. We'll just leave it at that. John, appreciate you tuning in. And would you look at that? He's looking a little blue there. Would you look at that? Kyle, appreciate you, Uncle Bobby B. Fuegos, and Dubbies, all the fam. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, man. I hope you're doing good, Kyle. And you know what? Next time on Fantasy, I'm not taking it easy on you, all right? It ain't going to happen. Uncle Bobby B. Appreciate you, buddy. It's been very hard to find a Solo X Recone. You know, let me tell you, if there's anybody that understands that, it's me. And whenever I first blew mine in 2017... I went to, I think it was on Facebook or something like that. The guy was selling it for like $200, which was a song. That was a good price, you know, used or not, whatever. And I messaged the guy, and he was like, oh yeah, I fix speakers all the time, and I had to fix this one. It was the tinsel leads. I'm like, oh, no biggie. And sent it to me, and I seen his work, and he like soldered some things together, which you know, you can solder some things, you know, but not a lead that's jumping across the coil. There's pressure there. I didn't know that. And yeah, that lead gave out, so I had to ship it back to him. I lost about $100 in shipping, because to ship a Solo X costs $50 UPS. You know, just the size of it. It's 18 inches. You got to get a 20 by 20 box kind of deal. And lost $100. I got my money back, but still, you know, and then I didn't know what to do. And I called Kicker. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to call. I don't know why I'm going to call. There's no way they have anything, but I called, and they actually had one. They had 4 left. I bought 1 of the last 4. Travis bought the last 3, and I have 2 of the last 4. And yes, one is right beside me, and the other one that I bought from Kicker, actually bought, that's the one. It's got Steve Irby's signature. This one right here is Travis's Young over here on this side over here, Travis Young's. And yeah, it's very hard to find those, and I got super duper lucky on that. But either way, man, it's getting progressively harder and harder to find older kicker stuff. It's 2024, and that's what's so cool about the L7X stuff coming out. I mean, this 15 over here is pretty cool. It's not an 18, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. It's going to be amazing when they have the new 18 out. I'm telling you, man. I haven't even put the 15 through its paces other than free air. I know what the 12 does. I can imagine what the 15 does, and I can't imagine what the 18 is going to do. Just how the 12 almost keeps up with my 18 in some degree. An 18 of its same size pedigear, but like twice the just potential, if not more. I can't wait, man. And I hope, whenever that comes out, maybe you can find your cone for your speaker, but at the same time, grab an 18 L7X and grab a few recones while you're at it, while they're still here. Just in preparation. I'm going to buy like 10 of them. Like, listen, I don't ever want to run out again. I made it, 2012. So 2012 to 2024, that's 12 years on 3 cones. I mean, that's not bad. And if I get 10, I'm good for like, maybe forever, maybe not, we'll see. Either way, let's see. I was pumped to see you drop the video of Cookie walk around. I've only ever seen it from demo videos or straight trunk shots. Thank you, Jake. And, I wanted to do that for a long time. And I'm like, well, I'm not done with it yet, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. And it's like it gets kicked into the back of my mind, and I went up there to just do some tuning for the dueling demos, and I was up there for 6 hours, and like in the middle of it, towards the end, I'm like, you know what, this would be the perfect time to do just a complete walk around and talk about everything that's in Cookie Monster, because like you said, like bingo, like you only see so much, or you get a demo of it and there's so much going on at Slamology, or you're a local guy and you get to look at it all the time. Very small instances. So yes, I'm happy I did that, and thank you for that, man. Thank you so much. I was looking at the videos, I'm like, man, this video's doing really well. Like, people just want to look at it. They just want to look at it.
Well, would you look at that?
That's it. Can't you buy the Recone from their website? Back in 2011-12, absolutely. But yeah, the older one, no. They did have a few of them like floating around. There is one listing, I forget what website it is. It has a Solo X18 literally for sale, and it's like $5,000. And then you go and look at it, and you go to buy it, it's like out of stock. It's like, bro. And it's like there's a button to be like, notify when this becomes available again. It's like, yeah, sure, that's gonna happen. You're gonna be that skeleton sitting in the chair waiting for that to ever get that notification. I used to compete with Kicker Gear. It's great to see a chat like this. Awesome, Nolan. Welcome, man. Honestly, that's what we do here. We try to keep it as positive as we can. We talk about car audio, Kicker, this is what we do, and I'm happy that you found us, period. Thank you, Nolan. Yes, just take a seat and just meet the guys. They are awesome. I love the OG 18. I want to keep it. The new one has me excited. I'm built for the Solo X already, though. And that's something I thought about, too, is the new 18 going to be drop and, just put the new 18 in the old Cookie Monster box? Is it going to work? Right now, I still don't even know 100%. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not here, and I haven't got to see the TS specs yet. I'm sure it should be done, or, very close of that being finished and, just getting it over here and into people's hands eventually. But is it just, it's a different driver. So anytime you have a different driver, it's like having a prefab enclosure. The prefab enclosures aren't inherently bad. It's just, it's not made for every woofer. So it might not work for your woofer. It might work better for a lower power driver woofer, and it works with the port area and with the enclosure airspace altogether. So putting the new 18 in there and just running it isn't terrible, because kicker gives you a pretty wide spec to use, and obviously you're going to get, you know, different performance values. You know, a bigger box, you're going to get more low output, a little bit better efficiency, but you might not be able to play higher frequencies, and you might have a little bit of just, I don't know, it not port delay, but kind of like just a little bit of just not that tight bass. And you can make it smaller, obviously, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know that, but if you drop in this L7X18 in an enclosure that's for the Solo X18, and that Solo X enclosure is like 7 to 8 cubes, which is really ideal for a Solo X18. It's like 8.5 cubes. Like 10, yeah, you get more output, more low-end extension, a little bit better efficiency, watt for watt. But again, you're playing lower, so it might not be as loud in your car because your cars don't have a very low resonant. You know, it's a car. It's a small area. Wavelengths are long and half wave, quarter wave kind of stuff with waves coupling, SPL, blah, 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 blah. So if you have a box that's around 7 to 8 cubes, I think it's going to be perfectly fine. Mine's around 10, so it might be a little bit more of a difference if that new L7X18 doesn't really need that big of an enclosure, you know, but it does have a little bit more bore and stroke, or more stroke, the same bore. So, it, you know, more travel. So that's always going to be a thing to think about. But not just that alone makes a box work for something else and whatever. There's a lot of stuff that goes into designing an enclosure with just the parameters of the speaker. But could you drop it in there? I mean, probably. You know, the only time I've ever seen issues with people dropping in an L7X12 into a L7 enclosure is the corners, because when you buy the prefab enclosures, not the kicker loaded ones, but the prefab ones, they cut that corner so sharp, just right at the end. And the problem with the L7X is they got screw holes on the top corners. The 15, the 12, the 10, the 18, they're all going to have them. The 18 is the only one that used to have the corner holes on the top there. The L7S, the L7R, the T, everything doesn't have holes in the top right corner. So that was the issue with people putting them into their prefab enclosures and saying it's not perfect. I definitely think that this 18 isn't going to be any different because you already designed that box. They don't have 18 prefabs. Well, they kind of did, but we'll get on that on another day. You get what I'm saying. You kind of already have the cutout. It should be able to fit right in there. Either way, man. Appreciate ya, the loser, Uncle Bobby B. The kicker guys are awesome. Man, we're awesome. The kicker guys, I'm like, they were awesome. And they absolutely are, man. Steve, he takes some decision making into hiring each person at Stillwater, man. And he takes care of them too. Appreciate you tuning in, Adrian, Chris Miller, Joseph Keenan, Aaron. Okay, there we go. What were those little emojis for? Top fan and follower. Appreciate you, Aaron. Okay, so that's what that means. You just got to look at it sometime. How do I get one for free? I don't know, man. You got to look around. Complete knob is missing. 3D print the knob. I mean, you absolutely could, man. You absolutely could. I think we know a few guys here that do 3D printing, but you know, how much work that might take, I don't know. Thumper, check the spam folder. I'm not seeing an email. Is there a name that I can search for my Livin Loud with Andy at gmail.com? Let me take a look here. Oh, why did it log me out? Log me out of Kicker Gleam. Oh, you know what? Because me and SJC fixed everything on the computer and reset all my cookies, all my everything. And let me take a look here. I know you messaged me. I was talking to you about it. Yeah, September 10th. Mel Garrison was the last discount code winner on September 10th. Let me see if let me look at the other one here from August 27th. Cindy Rockledge. No, I don't have you for, let's see. Because that's who I just take, copy, paste the email that won, and I say, hey, you got to look at it. Let me see if you won on here. Thank you, Garrick, for gifting 5 memberships to the Green Team.
Green Team.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you, Garrick. Appreciate you for supporting the channel, sir. I hope you're doing well, and I know you, you're dealing with some stuff, and I'm happy that you're able to be here, man. You're able to be here. And thank you so much for the support. Every penny counts, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. He just had to take a look at it. That's the thing. Hold on. I got all my look at it. I forgot the resettings, but that's all right.
I took a look at it. Huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
would you look at it?
Yeah.
You looked at it.
I looked at it.
Very good.
I kept looking at it.
Very good. Appreciate you, Thumper. And what I do is I message you within, it's usually not the night of, because I'm like, Pugh. It's usually like a couple days after, and I shoot you an email, and I just let it ride, man. And then if you ever reply back, bingo, I sent it out to you. But it shouldn't come up as spam either way. And just gotta look for it. I know I've just been specifically behind recently the past few weeks here, and just everything going on, and we lost Frank the Tank. he won on Slamology, but that was the same time that I drew a winner, and I drew it from a show that just never happened, and it was still on the gleam of how we do the drawings and stuff, and he got lost in the bunch, and I'm glad he kept saying, hey, would you look at it, would you look at it. And welcome to Livin Loud club member Joe Keenan. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? I love how it does these little things. So Joseph Keenan got gifted a membership, or maybe he's just on a membership tier, once a month or whatever. It throws it up there, and I think that's pretty cool. Sorry, fantasy football. Unfortunately, you might hate me more next week. Kayla might lose this week. You know what, Kyle? I'm watching you. I don't know. Kayla was king last year in the Livin Loud with Andy Fantasy Football League. She took home the Lombardi. We got it sitting downstairs. I can just look at that thing. I'm like, man, that's my girl. So you better watch out, man. I'm telling you. Shit. Kayla be kicking it, man. I'm telling you. Let's see. Appreciate you, Thumper. Appreciate you, man. And sorry about the confusion, but it's just as long as we got you. Oh, here we go. Oh, I deleted it. No, okay, I gotta delete that then. That's not on there anymore. I've been doing a little bit of reconsolidation on all the videos and stuff, and reorganizing stuff, and getting it ready so we can bring on EXO and just a few other guys, Sparked Innovations and stuff. Oh, look at those emojis just floating up. I love it. What you looking at? Just smash. If you're a Green Team member, you got the fancy emojis. Let's light up the whole left screen here with L7Xs, because all we're talking about tonight is solo X's, L7Xs. I just smash the sub. Smash the sub. Nolan, I remember when the Solo X and the Solo and the Solo X came out, groundbreaking stuff back then. And it really was, man. Just kicker in general of putting bass in your car when nobody else really was doing it. Pioneers, if you will. And, I wish I was able to see that stuff kind of, just blossom into what it is today. But either way, man, I can enjoy the view from here a little bit, and hearing the stories from you guys. It's truly just cool to hear, it's just time flies too. I'll tell you that. Time flies. Thank you, Nolan. L7. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, would you just look at them all? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I see a frowny face. He's upset because maybe he's not a Green Team member. He can't throw up the fancy emojis. I appreciate you guys. That's a lot of kickers. I think that's more kickers than Kyle and Steve Barber and Drew Jones got together, man. Sent the reply, thanks email, you were buried under hundreds of scam email. I know, that's the problem. Ernie's like, did you get my email? I'm like, dude, I don't know. So I made a separate entire email just for him and this stuff, and just a few other things, obviously, but still, right, it can get lost, and that's why I do these shows every Tuesday and Friday, and I'm happy to help you guys out, because I know you want to use those 50% off discount codes. And speaking of which, just saying, Real Cisco Montano just subscribed. He definitely took a look at it. Thank you, Real Cisco Montano. I love that name. That is awesome. But yeah, if you go to kicker.com and, I love Showtime. It kicks back to the channel, but Kicker kicks back to me regardless. And you guys can use your 50% off discount codes. And the 1000.4 was there. But now we got the WXA 3600.1 available at kicker.com. You can pay this thing in installments, for better, I wouldn't say whatever, but just to get your wife to say yes a little bit quicker. We can pay in payments, Andy. Andy just subscribed. Would you look at that? Oh, would you look at that? And Andy, you know what? It's fine. It is totally fine. I'm okay with another Andy. It's okay. Thank you for subscribing. Would you just look at that? That's crazy. Appreciate you guys, man. Andy, roll that beautiful bean footage. You missed it, Bobby. You missed it.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Thank you, Bobby. I got you, man. As soon as I see you in the chat, I'm like, Bobby. Uncle Bobby B, baby. Let's see. Yeah. He was talking about the OG. No worries. Take a seat, grab a number. Just me just gifted 5 memberships to the viewers for the Green Team.
Green Team.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you for just donating, man. And more guys on the Green Team. 100%. Thank you. Let's see here. That's Dean. Yes, Dean, Garrick, El Fuego, and BT all were gifting stuff tonight. I appreciate you, Dean. And just, being here and supporting, man. And I want to hear your system one day. I know this Slamology, wherever it is this year, I'm going to try to get more demos. But either way, it's going to be tough too. L7X18, I'll be able to demo all day, but maybe I'll have to wait for my batteries to charge and walk around for a half an hour. Mike DeBully with a $5 super shot? What?
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You know what? That guy can never be wrong. You just gotta look at it, and thank you, Mike. And he's calling you out. He said, shut. Dawg, man, the Discord after party might go a little sideways tonight. And, I need you guys, and I need help. We should do that game we always play. I forget what it's called, the Quizlet or something, man. It was the most crazy game we used to play all the time. And, yeah, if you're not on the Discord, check it out. It's in the About section. We hang out there usually after every podcast I have live stream. And we just kick back, relax, and I talk to you guys. I hear about your stuff. We talk about what have you. And I want to do that tonight. I want to play that game. I know one of you guys are going to throw it up and be like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yes, that's it. That is it. Thank you, Mike DePoli. Mike. Okay, my comments are all the way to the beginning. But you know what? This is so much better. It looks like StreamYard. And for using StreamYard for 3 years and then going to something else, I was like, ugh. It was tough, and now I got it to look kind of like StreamYard. It looks like StreamYard, so it works. Thank you, El Fuego. Thanks for a great show, and peace out to all my chat brothers. I have to dip. Rest up for surgery on Tuesday. I'll be praying for you, El Fuego. And, man, thank you for just being here, and get some rest, sir. I know. I wish I could back these shows up a little bit, maybe an hour, like 9 o'clock, but everybody's so used to 10 o'clock on Friday. And I know a lot of you guys are all the way over there in the Pacific Northwest, so, you know.
The Pacific Northwest?
It's 3 hours behind us, so 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. That's dinner time, man. I don't know. But either way, thank you, El Fuego, for being here, and I appreciate you, sir. Good luck. You're going to need it. Thank you for tuning in. Stuart, sup, Andy, and the green team. We got to throw it up.
Green team.
Green team. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. I hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. I know I watched a little bit of Jace's podcast, and then if you notice, if I disappeared for a while, I'm driving, right? We're driving all the way up to Erie, and I'm listening to Liberty Basehead Shop, podcast. I totally missed my exit on Cranberry. I just kept riding the turnpike for another 20 minutes. It was faster to keep going and go through the woods than to turn around. Oh, man, that's why I'm like, no, I missed a turn. Where's this taking me? It's terrible. So I got to see you there, man, and that's what reminded me. It has been a crazy week this week of just work and just, life. And I hope you guys are having a good week and everybody's healthy. And I seen this guy's license plate today. It says it could be worse. And you know what? That is the best key of advice. It could be worse. When you're ever feeling down or overwhelmed, it could be worse. Oh, man. I was around during the days of the KC, the Kicker Club group. I mean, we got one of those now. Kicker competition group. Yes, man. And I know they wanted to start that back up. I don't know exactly what that all entails of Drew and Steve and what they're doing. I don't know. But, man, it's just crazy that Kicker was so dominant back in the day. And the more people get the L7X product, I feel like the more you're going to see that slowly start to happen. I know, right? That's a statement. But to be honest with you, man, these L7X woofers are really stupid efficient for being what they are with how much travel they have. In Kayla's car, it's a hatchback, right? But it's still behind the back seat in a street class scenario, and it's doing a 42.5 at 34 hertz on straight one, like 400, 500 watts, and it's like retarded. It's really good. And it's going to be very competitive in the lane. It's going to be a, musical demo just machine. It's not going to win any SQ awards for, all that kind of fun stuff when you're really trying to listen for every tonality of a speaker. And maybe that's not the best driver to use. It's just not, man. Look at the woof. Look at the surround on that thing. It's super thick. And it's just, that's just how woofers work. It's going to have more cone travel, be able to have more potential. It's going to have some cons that come along with that, man. But I'm excited. I am excited. You're seeing it in the big builds, but I want to see it like in the lanes, people using them, putting up good numbers. And it's like, whoa, you got some kickers in there? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you, Nolan. If you buy a Solo X, you should definitely build a box that suits the sub and your liking. And that's every enclosure. If you're trying to get every ounce of just whatever you're trying to do with that woofer, that's the best way to do it. 100%, Nolan. 100%. Mr. Kiplitzy is in the house. It's Kipalicious now. Hope you're doing well, Kip. Love you, buddy. And I've been meaning to get back to you. Like I said, it's been kind of crazy the past few days here. I'm like, man, I've been terrible. I've been barely talking to anybody, but it's like, oh, Kayla needs help. I need to do this. And oh no, all this stuff's going on. And it's like, I got to post this video. I got to edit this, do that. It's been crazy. But I'm happy that you're here, Kip. I hope you're feeling healthy and happy. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. Good day, Kiplitzy. I know a lot of those guys. He's a laughing Kip, Jeremy, and Aaron. Okay, so you know the gang. Yeah, that gang's all here, guys. You can't forget about Ernie, man. Poor Ernie. He's always getting forgot. He's behind the studio. Hey. You always forget him, man. We love him, though, and those guys are awesome. I mean, of course, we got Kip in here. You know, we can't say nothing bad about Kip. He's right here. Not Jeremy. Well, you got Jeremy Wynn, Jeremy Brown, both the Jeremys, and Aaron, A.A. Ron. He's an awesome guy, individual. Both of them are. All five of them are awesome. Really cool guys, man. New credit card. I got to redo Green Team with you, Andy. Awesome. So that's why that popped up there. Well, welcome back to the Green Team, sir. Appreciate you, Joe. Appreciate you. Someone get Andy a cookie bass knob for Cookie Monster. That would be so dope. Yeah, man. You know, I mean, I got the NGA wireless bass knob, and it's doing awesome. It did great for what I was trying to do this weekend at Mecca, you know, with the dueling demos of just getting it right there, right where I wanted it to be. I was thinking about using the Warhorse amp on the L7X, and then I was like, you know what? Let me just keep this here and use that and use the NGA bass knob, and it's wireless. If I need more bass while I'm doing the dueling demo, I can just crank it up a little bit outside of the car rather than the Warhorse that's wired. But the KXA 2400's cool. It's wireless, but it's got a few more ugga-duggas in it per click. So with that, I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. And I wanted more power for SPL. But then I didn't even do that. I wound up just running the Cookie Monster in the lane and for dueling demos. But that would be cool to have some kind of cookie bass knob. Maybe we could just put some cookie wrap on the NGA wireless bass knob, you know? Thank you, Budget Audio at J. Okay, there's Garrick's gifted memberships. Gotcha. Appreciate you, sir, for that. 18, man, we got a lot of comments. You guys are awesome. Let's see here. 18, the loser. 18, L7X, 4 cubic feet, air volume enough. Ooh, I love tight, strong bass. Don't go too low, hurts that often. Well, I feel like it will work. You know, if you have the correct port on it with the amount of area, the length, and I mean, if that's 4 cubic feet with the port included, I don't know if it's enough. If it's before the port, you know, and then like the whole port's like a whole cube, so you're really sitting around 5. I think that's pretty much bare minimum. With the old Solo X, I had it in their prefab enclosure. It wasn't kickers, but somebody made one for it. It looked like one. It wasn't custom, and I seen them online, and this thing was just tuned to the moon, man, like 40 hertz plus, but it was like 3.5 cubes. Way too small. Kicker recommended 5 minimum. So then when I built a custom first enclosure, I built it to 5 cubes plus the port. It was almost 6 cubes, and it sounded phenomenal. Kip heard that one for the first time in that car, and it didn't take up the whole back portion of the vehicle either, but it had a little bit better punchier bass, and just how it reflected off the rear hatch, and it just, you know, tuned to 38, but it could still play down low to 30s, and it sounded good. So it all depends how you do it. Even though the box is smaller, it can still 100% work, but you know, just to be able to get down to the low end extension, it's going to have a harder time, and you might run into chuffing and just, you know, unloading that you don't want to do. But either way, I think a little bit bigger on the port and the box there. Thank you for tuning in, Marcus. I'm glad you did the video on the JP40. Yes, I have one myself and didn't know what it really does, and you answered my question with a video. That's all I want to hear, man. Thank you, buddy. I have a 320 amp alternator and a JP43, and I think that's perfect because the JP43, it's like 5K on the bench or something like that, and you're probably getting anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5,000 watts out of that amp, and that battery's really good for that, especially with a 320 amp alternator. For the most part, that alt will do all the work, but the battery has enough discharge capability and reserve to keep that system going without any kind of stress on either the alternator and or the battery at the same time. It's a very well balanced setup that you got there, and I appreciate that, man, because you know, it's like with YouTube videos, it's not a live stream. People attention spans are short, but it's like, I got a lot of information. I want to help somebody. I want them to not just look at it, but be able to take something away from it like you did yourself, and that is awesome, man. And that's why I love doing the live streams, because you get that one-on-one, and I appreciate you being here, and I'm happy I made it. But we got to give kudos to Cornut for sending me that battery, and we got more coming down the road, too. It's pretty easy to set up. I did it once. Now I can keep doing it. I got a format, and perfect battery to just do it on, and thank you, Cornut, for sending that to me, buddy. Kicker Competition Group 1 was definitely a special group. See, I didn't even know there was 1, 2, 3. I thought it was just the Kicker Competition Group. You guys are going to have to tell me more. You just got to look at it, Garrick. You know, you're right. You're right. Indeed it was. It was an awesome time. There's Blake. Sorry, I'm really far behind on these comments, but you guys are awesome. I think on the last live stream, I think they're counting those reactions, and YouTube's algorithm is changing. It's going by comments and reactions of how it pushes a video. So keep just dropping those reactions just randomly whenever. I was up to 1,165. Usually it's like 800 comments. That's like a normal high night. 600 low. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot. That is a lot. And hey, you know what? You guys give me something to talk about. Appreciate you, Blake. How ya doing? How's it going? Doing well, man. I'm glad this is working, and just have to do a few tweaks here and there right before I turn the computer on, and I'm good to go. Would you look at that? It's working great. JJ1479 just subscribed. Man, he took a look at it. You know, I'm going to have to put that one back here. I moved a lot of these, but you know what? Yeah, there we go. No, that's the gift of membership one. We got a lot of them. I mean, we're reigning members now.
Hit it, Michael.
Ready?
Man, it's just raining members, raining subscribers. You guys are awesome. I love to see one during the stream. That's awesome. You know, man, thank you guys. Appreciate you. And Michigan Sound, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. It's been quite a while. Sexy hair flip on the Amp Repair video. Who did that one? Amp Repair video. I'm gonna have to get Bryson for that. He's got some good hair, man. Kip-olicious hanging in there. Nolan, hello, Uncle Bobby B. There they are. There's the solo X's and the laughy emojis. I love it, dude. I love it. I love it. It's awesome that so many guys are still there, and that's the thing with all the Kicker employees. They are there from beginning to end. It almost seems like, man, it's like they are getting married. You know, sometimes divorces happen. But still, Kip's been there, what, 26, 27 years. Same thing with John. They started like a day or two after each other. And, you know, it's just, what is the mean? Like the average employment time? I know it's like, you know, you get a new employee, that's going to go down a little bit. It's like your credit history. But isn't it like average of like 8 years or 10 years of like the average employee there, like all together? It's like something crazy of how long each employee's been there averagely. And yeah, they're still there. Mike DePoli, come on up, 30 years, coming up on 30 years, man. Time is flying. That's what I'm saying, man. Time is flying. It's already, we're almost out of September. October is next, and it's Halloween coming up, and it's going to start getting cold. You know, I'm ready for it, but it's just crazy. Like, I swear, we did Slamology, and summer was just here, and it's like, no, that was like 4 months ago. Like, no. Man, it's crazy how time flies, man. 30 years at Kicker. That is that's incredible, Kip. That is incredible. Andrew Mack, what's good? Chilling like a villain. Live and direct. Sony Explode. What I'm gonna replace with the code, with this code, man. He's rapping now. Sony Explode. What I'm gonna replace with this code. That 50% off discount code. I mean, maybe with Dubby, you could get some Sony Explodes from Dubby, and you know, just give them the 50% off discount code. You know, I mean, you could get explodes with a code, you know. There they are. There they are. Kip's even dropping them. Appreciate all you guys, man. Opinion, please. Thinking a pair of L7Xs in 4 cubic feet each would be louder than one new Solo X in 8 cubic feet when it's out, obviously. You know, man, a pair that are these 18s, I would assume that I would go with the single 18 just because a few factors. You're going to be able to get more out of that woofer in output with an enclosure that is just bigger. And whenever you're talking like SPL, you know, twice the cone area, or, you know, twice the power is a 3 dB bump or something. But in real world testing, that's not always the case. And it depends a lot of other factors, because you're not just measuring the speaker in the box. Like, you got a vehicle, you got atmospherical conditions, and just other factors like car seats are in a way. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. But when you're just talking numbers, with an 18 and 8 cubes versus 2 18s and 4 cubes each, which the box would be the same, the cone area would be double, but I feel like Hoffman's iron law is really going to hinder the performance versus the 18 that's by itself. Even though the 18's by itself, it will be able to stroke further, it'll be able to move further, because of Hoffman's iron law. Now, of course, how you design the port and all that other stuff and what you're trying to do with it are other factors, but I'm trying to keep it simple, where with a bigger enclosure, it's going to have less, not even pressure, but it's just going to move more on less power, but it's just going to move more, and you're not going to need all that power as you would with 2 drivers that are 2 motors and 2 coils. So there's that, but it might be able to move twice as much as the other ones because the enclosure is twice as big, if that makes sense. So even though that you have twice the cone area, you're kind of negating that because they're not moving twice as far. And I feel like there's a lot more into it than just that, but that's the idea. So I don't think it would be a huge difference, other than, like, it would literally be neck and neck. But the problem is, thought my audio went out or something went out. Yeah, the Stream Deck randomly does that. I don't know why, but we should be up full tilt boogie there. Either way, man, what was I getting at? See, now this is doing, why does that do that? It just connects to the Stream Deck, I'm already connected to it. My goodness gracious. What I think would be the big difference is where you're getting that output at, where the single 18 would be able, or just a single subwoofer in twice the amount of airspace versus 2 that are in half but equal airspace as a whole. I feel like the 18 is going to be able to dig down lower frequencies just in general. And that's the thing where you can't really just compare those two, because then you're going to be able to meet maybe a little bit closer to what that sub likes, as in the resonant frequency and just the mechanical parameters and electrical parameters of that driver. Every subwoofer with that scenario could be different and skewed each way because of how it's designed. To try to narrow it down to answer your question, I would go with the single 18 in the proper amount of airspace over 2 that are suffocated, not being able to just perform. Now, you could get in the middle of somewhere and put it around 6 cubes with a single, or maybe 10 cubes or something like that for 2, and you might be able to get better performance values with each option, left or right. I don't know what to tell you on that, but in my opinion, what I would do, I would run the single 18. Take it from me, please. Heck yeah, XO and Sparked Innovations for the win. I am so far behind Andrew Mack. My wife ran 2 Solo X10s on a Stetson 7K 2D back in 2009, 2010. That's awesome, man. You know, before they only had the 10s, the 12s, or the 10s, the 12s, the 18s. They didn't have a 15. They got a 15 back here, and I've been meaning to put in an enclosure and a vehicle, but the vehicle it's going to go in, for the most part, It's still not done yet, Bobby. It's still not done yet. That's awesome to hear, Andrew Mack. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while, sir. Can't wait for mine to come from Marcus. This is awesome, Nolan, and time does fly. It's crazy, man. It's sad. Opinion 1, okay, I think I got that. Yeah. 1 Solo X18, 8 cubic feet versus a pair and 4. Okay, that's that. Got it. I wish we had amps like this in my day. You know, man, we are spoiled with power nowadays. We are very spoiled with power. Hey, Andy from Sparked. Oh, would you look at that? I know that guy. I'm like, I don't know too many Andys, and the ones I do know, I know. That is awesome. Thank you for subscribing, and I'm glad you're here, man. Speaking of Spark, we need to get you on. The reason why I held back on bringing anybody on is because we moved out of the house of StreamYard, even though we still have the StreamYard pillow over here. I mean, I never forget who got me where. The StreamYard did work, but you know, we needed a little bit more, and I'm going to be able to get you guys on. I got it all set up. Literally, if I pull this up over here, I'll show you exactly how this works. And I just have to make sure all these things are off, and I'm good to go for whenever I'm switching back and forth. But really, I won't be switching back and forth at all. And I would pull this over here, and we even have sounds and stuff for whenever we bring on the guests specifically, because this was a pain in the butt. We can throw out pennies. We can do all that stuff. And, you know, just getting that down pat where it works for...
Oh, would you look at it? You looked at it.
I looked at it.
Very good.
I kept looking at it.
We're ironing out some kinks. That's all you got to do is forget the other things, and then that happens. But you get what I'm saying, and I can't wait to have you guys on. You, Rich, or Sparked himself, man. I appreciate you tuning in, buddy. See, I am so far behind unless this was Dean's earlier. Man, I am so far behind. Would you look at that? Sparked Innovations in the house. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm really far behind on this. Holy moly. But at least it's holding every single comment, which is great. I like that because I was losing a few and I didn't know why. I got that fixed and now it's working. Those days were gold. Andy, is the kicker 50% off coupon still being given out as a prize? Yes. And Thumper's about to get his, man. Yes. Every other Tuesday. You know where to find it. This channel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the 4th place prize. I know. They put me at the bottom, but that's okay. That 50% off discount code, I mean, that's, you know, you got to pull money out of your own pocket, but you get anything at kicker.com for half off. I don't know if you ever hear your wife talking about sales. This is like a big sale that's happening all the time, but you just have to tune in and you might win it. And the code's good for life. So, I mean, if you have to wait until your kids are grown up and then you can get some stuff, hey, maybe you can wait. Or maybe you might win another one in the future. Either way. Yes, we are still doing them. Man, we have been live for an hour and 2 minutes, and I'm just finally starting to catch up on the comments. Kicker is dominating now. Just wait till the L7X 18-inch hits. It's not to be stopped. It's not to be stopped. It will be a force to be reckoned with. I know you know. Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I see the performance of my 12, and I haven't even messed with the 15. It's a little bit more cone area. You know, you got, what is it? 144 versus 225. And that's a lot more cone area, but the 18 is 324. So yeah. And just knowing with my experience with my 18 and then a 12, it's like, man, this 12 does not sound like a 12 in my car. Now, Cookie Monster, you know, whenever I had it in a smaller box, it still performed very well, and it sounded like I had 3 10s in the back. You know, like it was an accurate box, and it was punchy. I could play rock, I could play rap, I could play dubstep for dubby. But you get what I'm saying. It sounded like it was more than it was, and the 12 L7X sounds like a 15 back there. Like, and I have been running Kicker for a while. It does not sound like an L7S12 back there at all. And I know the Solo X12 of the old versions like this wasn't much more than the L7S that is today. You know, a little bit more power handling, but not that much, and not that much more excursion of potential. I can just imagine. Let me tell you. And it's gonna be a game changer indeed, man. You know, just because I'm throwing it up, man. It's going to be a game changer.
I don't care what you say about kickers. This guy is a difference maker.
Difference maker indeed, man. And there's more to come. There's more to come. You are an artist, Nolan. Seriously. Thank you, Kip. I love what I did back then, but you guys today are on the next level. Okay, so he did some artwork for them. Real Crisco Montano. Oh, this is the guy that subscribed. Would you look at that? What do you think? It will sound better. 1500 watts, MM1500 on a Kicker Solo X10 Gen 2, so the black cone, or Soundstream 6K, either a 3 cubic foot box or 2.5 cubic foot box. Well, with the 12, I think that was what? For the Solo X12. Ooh, you know, with the 10, 12, I think that was 3 to 6 cubes back then. I'd have to check. Maybe not. No, because that's more for like the 15s. Maybe it was 2 to 4. I think it was 2 to 4 for the Solo X12. I'd have to remember of airspace. So maybe a 3, in my opinion. You know, with the Solo X's, they like bigger box. They do well with small, but if you want more output, go bigger, and they work great. They have enough mechanical suspension to hold everything together. And what do you think will be better? 1500 watts, MM1500. I for some reason I remember that amp, but I can't tell. Or a 6K Soundstream, but the 6K Soundstream is not 6K. I think that does do like 2000 watts on the dyno. I feel like either one will work perfectly fine. And with the Solo X 2nd gen, or just the old school Solo X, the 12 is 2500 watts RMS instead of 5000. But either way, I would rate it in today's standards as a 1500 RMS driver. So a little bit more than the Q class. Well, the Q class bumped up 100 watts, but you get what I'm saying. A little bit more than a Q class. I think that's the 15's 1200, and the 12 is 1000 now RMS for the Q. So a little bit more power handling than that, but not by too much. And it's a 12. So you kind of get what I'm saying. I feel like either one will work. Just set your gains properly and build the enclosure like I would go around 3 cubes. That's my opinion on that one. Thank you, Real Crisco Montano, and thank you for subscribing. OGSQ is a lost art in today's world, man. You know, I love sound quality and I love SPL, but it's like I'm never just one side or the other. It's like I want my gravy too. Like Mr. Hi-Fi Vega always said, it's like I like that gravy, and it's like SQ can get the bad name of, oh, it's just flat. Not all SQ's like that, man. And SQ is what sounds good to you at the end of the day, but you get what I'm saying. And it's sad that it's not as triumphant as it used to be with like Mecha or just any kind of SPL versus SQ stuff back in the day. It's a lot smaller than it was. And I feel like it's not that it's a dying side of things. It's just, in my opinion, it's easier to throw in 2 12s and forget the rest. And that's the general consensus of car audio, and it goes way deeper than that. And you know, we have to bring more people onto both sides between SPL competing or just SQ, and just everything that entails. But you would be surprised, there are still people out there, you know, they're paying a bunch of money to have an installer do like a DSP setup and components and focal and all this expensive SQ stuff because they want it to sound amazing. And you know what, we got to do something, Kip. I don't know, you know, we can do something. If there's anybody, it's us. We can do something. Nobody appreciated my SQ build, so I went back to SPL. Bingo, exactly. You get in that thing, you're like, where's the bass? It's like, not the where's the beef, where's the bass? Not every SQ build is like that. And I can attest to that, because when I went to Kentucky World Finals, Kip in the game brought me down there. Had a look at some things, you know. And when I went down there, I got to check out the SPL, the SQ stuff. And I sat in like the world's best people in like the higher tier classes of just infinite baffle speakers everywhere. An 18-inch or two 18-inch infinite baffles firing down with a hydrophobic, filter on the bottom so that it's just completely free aired. And that sounded like what I want in my stock system, but it's never going to sound like that. You buy the JBL, you buy the Harman Kardon, you buy the Bose with no highs and just lows, and it's never enough. And SQ is fun, man. It is. But now when you get into all the time alignment and staging, you could drive yourself nuts. I'll tell you that. You could drive yourself nuts. So I don't even try that part yet. I don't even try it because you got to have the right speaker configuration. You can't just put speakers anywhere. And 90% of vehicles in their stock locations are not ideal for stage sound. It's just sound stage. It just is not. SQ really describes my style. I want accurate sound, a good stage, and thwack. That's it. That's it. You want it to sound good. And what he's talking about with the soundstage is when you're sitting in the car, it's trying to emulate like you're sitting in front of the concert. So you got front row, you're sitting right in the middle, and there's a drummer over there, and the guitar, and the singer right in front of you, and she's a little bit up. That is what you want. Be able to distinguish left and right, and that's why your ears are on both sides of your head and how your brain deciphers how far something away is by the left and the right. And that's where you can kind of trick your mind of that person is over there to the left 5 feet and this person is over here to the right 2 feet by just different levels and time delay and all that fun stuff. And it's really cool when you actually get to hear that in person, and you will just truly admire, a good sounding front stage SQ build. And you'll get back in the years with just the 212s and the no DSP and just a ton of power, and you'll be like, yeah, that sounded good, but I don't know, man. The bass is the bass sounds nice, but I wish mine sounded like that. I really wish it did. Amp Dinos, thank you for tuning in. Sonys are the best. Oh, I'm throwing it up. No explode bucks, but a lot of explodes. Thank you, Amp Dinos. Sonys are the best, and I think Dubby is texting me saying, oh, got you. Yeah, man. Oh, look at that, man. You just start talking about Sonys a lot. Dubby. Dubby. Kip, is Kicker going to be at finals? I don't know. Mecca finals? Alabama. I know they're having all the way down to Alabama. I thought Kentucky was pretty far. Alabama, that's a drive. If I'm going to Alabama, I'm taking the kids to the beach to like Florida on the way back. That's my excuse of how to get down there. I imagine someone will be there. I currently don't know the plan. And that's the thing, Kicker, man, they got a guy for everything, and they're just, all right, here you go. Get on the jet, you're going there, you're going there, you're going here, you're going there. And it's just crazy the amount of effort that they put in for this community on top of it, And yes, it's not just car audio with Kicker, like they're into everything else, marine, motorcycles, the whole nine, but still, they admire who got them where and, just everything about that. And they're still pumping back into it. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a business idea, but still, it just shows their character, man. It's awesome. They don't have to do that. They don't have to do that. Simple. Thank you, Solo X18 for the win. Less sub in the right box is better than the bigger sub in the wrong box. Bingo. Glitched a little bit, huh? Yeah, it's that audio, man. It usually doesn't do that, but I think there's a little bit of issues with my browser extension of how I throw up these comments and stuff. That's something I was having an issue with yesterday on top of everything, and I kind of got it figured out, but I think it does kind of aggravate it, but long as it works, I know what to do with the other stuff. It's working so far. It's okay. My buddy had 2 of the original L7X18s in 11 cubes, tuned to 40 hertz. Wait, L7X18s? Oh, the original Solo X8. Okay. I was gonna say, hold on a second. You got one of those? Cause Kip, tuned to 40 hertz. No, I didn't build that box. And honestly, I could put two 18s in my box. Mine's 10 plus the port. It's around 11, and it used to be 14. Yeah, it was 14, I think, plus the port. When you're calculating like angles and stuff, it's like, you think you got it, and then you redo it, you cut the box, and you're like, oh, that's a lot bigger than I thought. Like, the measurements were straight, but the cubic air foot was not. And it fit. And it played 16 hertz and would rip your face off for a single 18. It was redonkulous. But definitely 2 in that amount of airspace would work a lot better. Oh, Dubby, he took a look at it. He said, oh, boo, boo-roo, buckaroo. I seen it. Have an explode, buckaroo. Love you, Andes. Thank you, Dubby. I love you too, man. And I appreciate all that you do. And thank you for the explode bucks, man. That means a lot. Dubby. We need a Dubby logo or something. Or maybe a Sony Explode logo for the emojis. I'm on it. Or Dubby, you could send me a high-res Sony Explode subwoofer. Circle, no background. We're putting it on. All right, let's see here. At a Vibraflex, all that you can afford before the build, and it will be louder. And that's the thing with just any kind of sound dampening material is sometimes it can amplify the waves to couple where you want them to, and sometimes it can hurt, but also just help with how this system sounds with your car, and what your people are listening to while you're driving by, There's a lot of reasons for it, man. And Vibraflex is very, very thick, man, and I think it's more rigid than any kind of sound dampening Dynomat, kill mat stuff that's like a tar. Divorce incoming. She doesn't know about this one. Oh, no! Man, getting exploded tonight. Thank you, Dubby. And if you need me to throw that back to you for your divorce attorney, I got you. I understand. But I hope it doesn't come to that. Thank you, Dubby. Basehead 30. Appreciate you for tuning in. And I'm trying to catch up on the comments. You can hear the song. It's right at the end. This is my end song. But we're going a little long. It's 1 hour 16. We'll let the little intro go. And then we'll wrap it up. There it is. I only got them 140 dB ears. They still sensitive somewhat. Oh, Dolby! That's why, man. That's the thing. And bass is relative. Where you could have a 130, 135 dB system your entire life, and then you get that 138, 140, you're like, man, this is knocking my socks off. This is amazing. This is the best thing ever. And then you get into a 170, and you're like, what is that? Like, that is not bass. That is just pressure. I feel like I'm going to die. You're not used to it. And I feel like, once you do that, yeah, you can go back to running your 135 dB system, but maybe you might want a 140 now that you know that there's more out there. But that's the thing, man. Be happy with what you got, because at the end of the day, it's all about you, like it's about what you like, your system. And don't let anybody take that away from you. I know with the internet stuff, it can get kind of sideways with the groups and stuff, and that's why I love the guys in Kicker Club, because they keep it clean. They really do, for being the internet. But still, other groups are out there. It's just a dog-eat-dog world, and people putting each other down, and like, that's how you run people out of the community. Between that or just having the product fail on you, wasting money, your wife giving you a divorce because you're wasting on all this money on product that's blowing up. And that's why I'm happy to do this here and help people out, so that factor doesn't happen so often. So the equipment's running and the wife's like, well, I guess it sounds good. It's a difference maker. And, it's just be happy with what you got, man. Appreciate you, Dubby. who is yapping leprechaun. That's because the markup is so high on Kicker China product. Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. All right, somebody hold me back. Hold me back. Yes. But the crazy thing is, everything is, the subwoofers, the amplifiers, designed from the ground up repetitively. Like, what was it, 40 iterations of the L7X, like literally breaking down, redoing it, just over and over and over. And then it's sent to China, because everything is made in China nowadays. Newsflash, coils, China. Unless the guy's winding them here and making the metal out of scrap and the aluminum. Everything is made over there, unfortunately. But the manufacturers that they deal with, they have a quota to meet with the product. And as they built those relationships with those companies, they can be like, well, we trust this guy now. We're going to go to them for this product. And, they're making sure when that product comes from China, that it's the way it's supposed to be and the way that they would make it if it was made in their company, and to also help with that price tag. Because if Kicker actually made and designed and made just in the same company building in Oklahoma Stillwater, it'd be twice as much. Because then you're paying, it's the real truth. You're paying people, what's minimum wage? $15 an hour now? You're paying people a lot more than they pay over there, unfortunately. And everyone's so used to, cheaper prices because it's from China. But that's the reason, man. And then if they made it here, say they did, and they do make some products here, like the tailgate. They make that here. OEM in Stillwater. They put that together, assembly line and everything in Stillwater. If they made everything like that here, the L7X would be almost twice the cost. Or maybe not twice, but it might be, and it might not, but it's going to be more. It doesn't even negate of shipping it over a boat from China. That's the difference. And it's sad, but that's the world we live in, unfortunately. And, with Kicker, that's the one thing that I feel comfortable just doing this show and preaching is its quality. Yes, it's more expensive, but it ain't gonna just blow up on you. If you blow it up, you're really trying to blow it up and hurt it. And even if it would happen, they'll take care of you, and that's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying for. That's the markup. You're paying for the warranty and the quality. You're gonna have that product if you run it like the way you're supposed to, and you don't get a lemon, because lemons do happen. It's the world. We all make mistakes. Things slip through the cracks, and they'll take care of you. That thing's gonna last forever. Let's see. Box size is generally close to VAS. I've heard that for like sealed enclosures or something like that, or like the most you should do. But I feel like just like everything with speakers, it's more than just one variable. But I feel like it is an indicator, but with VAS, is still measured with 1 watt, 1 meter. Not the woofer just moving, and whenever you add more power, it changes things, and box designers, even them, it's not going to be perfect because things change as soon as you apply a ton of power to it. And that's where it just comes down to experience. Yes, using the software program, but then also trying and be like, well, that didn't work out like I thought it was going to. It's going to chart like this, and it's not. Let me change this. Wow, that's so much better, but the chart's telling me it's not going to be better, but it is better in this enclosure like this. And that's the thing. You can't go by just one thing, and you got to test. SPL easier to compete versus SQ and cheaper initially. Whew. I would say yeah, but at the same time, these guys are rocking, $3,000 pairs of RCAs. I don't know, so they both get really expensive, and to actually have something sound good in general for sound quality or have any kind of staging, that initial cost up front is going to be more than SPL of just putting in some woofers. You got less things going on to create one bass note, one range of frequencies versus all 20 to 20, and have something that is to be able to do that. When it's low frequencies, our ears are dumb to that stuff. We can't hear imperfections. It's wasted information. Aaron was right. But you get what I'm saying. It's a little bit, you can tell when something's playing 2.5 kilohertz a little bit too harshly versus 25 hertz. You're just going to be able to tell. And the woofers, man, it sounds good. It sounds good, man. It's shaking up my whole car. It's great. All right, let's see. Not here yet, Andy. We learn something new every day if we pay attention. Nolan Kip is the master bread maker. Yes, he is. Divorce incoming. Divorce incoming. My 68 Camaro, you guys are still here. My 68 Camaro barely hears subs outside the car. Then you stick your head inside and you're like, what the heck? And I just use foil and foam rolls from Frost King buy at Home Depot. Well, anyway, I mean, it works. If it works, it works, and if it stays there and, don't have to use whatever stuff. I mean, if it's working, that's what's kind of dumb about Cookie Monster. When I'm coming down a block, like, yeah, you can hear me, and it is a smaller car, and how physics are, the windows are small and all that fun stuff. But it's like, there's so much more bass inside. Yeah, every car it is, but it's like, with a Pilot, it's like, you can really hear that thing coming down the street, man, and it's like, quieter, Kayla's car, it's louder, but it's quieter on the meter, in the car. And it's all how the sound projects out of the vehicle and stuff along those lines. But, when you have the sound dampening there, it's going to dampen the sound, whatever you're using, to, just quiet things up. And honestly, it does stink, whenever you're bumping down a block and your license plate isn't rattling, people don't think you're loud then, and, whole car's not falling apart, but it does sound 100% better. And sometimes it helps to keep that pressure inside rather than a roof flexing and, adding cancellation waves into the whole thing. Thank you, Thumper. Appreciate you, sir. Yeah, I'll be getting that to you tonight. I'm slacking. 2 Solo X18s in my old G body would be fun. Keep my everyday driver Civic Si more SQ. 2 Solo X18s and old G body would be fun. That's talk about King Kong in the trunk. And and keep the Civic as the daily keep my everyday driver Civic Si more SQ. Right. It's nice having 2 builds rather than, 1 and that's it. If you can have 2, it's cool. Let me tell you, 3 gets kind of oh god, I'm out of power wire. Oh man, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But it's nice having your cake and eating it too. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in, Cracker. Lemon Party. You know what? I think Lemon Party is probably art. And it's sad. It's okay. Or it's somebody new. And that's fine. Either way, there's always going to be haters. No matter what you're doing, what you're preaching, what you're saying, what you're doing. Someone's not going to like what you're doing. And that's the world, man. And that's fine. But at least I'm with a company that makes good stuff. Yeah, it might cost a little bit more, but it's good. I wouldn't see myself running, just every brand, like this room is. Like there's a lot of reasons that brought this room to and myself to where I am. It's not just one thing, but it's like I couldn't see myself running like Temu, Alibaba, just everywhere, like, oh, look at that. It wouldn't be the same. And I mean, there's a lot of other brands out there that do make quality stuff, and you do pay more. And that's just life. You get what you pay for. And sometimes you can pay less, and you might not need the extra things that you would be getting by paying more, but not everybody's like that. And maybe something does happen. Well, hopefully their warranty's okay. That's the thing, man. It is no questions asked until you blow it up again. And then it's like, okay, what's going on here? Let's help you out. Let's see. Kicker 7-inch mids in my Phoenix M44. That's awesome, man. I love this Street Series. They do what they're supposed to and then some. Like people were honestly surprised. Not surprised in a bad way, but just shocked of how good Cookie Monster sounded. in the SQ realm of things, of just sound, not SQ as in staging and stuff. Like, I mean, I got 10 speakers in there, all firing different ways, but it just sounds good in the car, out the car, playing, you know, whatever music and rebase stuff, sure, but you get what I'm saying. Like, those Street Series were not just pressed and printed, like they were cut out with a spoon. Steve's sitting there. Steve and Aaron. It's a rat. You know, just sitting there with a spoon, carving out, you know, like literally made by hand with care, you know, of what they put in front of you guys, because they've always held that just quality. Here you go. We make it sound good. We know you're going to come back because it sounds good. They're awesome. I really love them. VAS is just a number that explains the stiffness of a woofer in a cubic foot or liter relation, with the same SD of a cone in a sealed box. I knew it had something to do with a sealed box. That's all I knew. And right. But it's I get where people get those myths, you know, of thinking this. And even then, it's like, even if that was true on some factor with some things, an EBP, you know, and it might not be that in your vehicle with what you're doing. And maybe something's a little bit different than you thought. And either way, man, it does get you close with the amount of just tools and online that we have nowadays. You don't have to be a big dummy anymore. Twisted 18 or 20 gauge primary wires make a great RCA cable. I'm going to have to do that one of these times. Buy just RCA, like gold plated, you know, little things. Just get some 18, 20 gauge, just twist it and run it and see the difference, you know. And that's the thing, man. Those RCAs I seen this weekend, they were thick. I think it was like 16, 14. It was maybe not 14. Maybe it was 14. It was some thick, just RCA cables, and you could see right through them, and just pure copper, man. Like, just awesome. And then the RCAs we get at Walmart or whatever for like $29.99, you know, there's not much to them, you know. It's like a little wire. It's like headphone wire. And it's probably like 32 gauge or something like that, you know. I don't know. Man, we have been live forever, but I'm just starting to catch up on the comments slowly, and as soon as I do, we'll wrap it up, man. Thank you for tuning in, Scott. Oh, we need to start doing Sundays, but it has to be on a time that the Steelers ain't playing. That's it. That's all I ask for, to bring back the Rolling Thunder. Appreciate you, sir. Love you too, man. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad I kept the live stream going on. I got to see you tonight. I hope you're doing well, man, and take care and be safe. Don't do anything that I would do. Could you even fit doing a CRX? I don't know. I mean, you could. I've seen a lot of, 215 builds, 218 builds, and a CRX firing forward, port to the back, SPL kind of builds, peaking around like 63 hertz. Yeah, sure, you can do it. You know, you can fit a Solo X18 in back of a, you know, clips. Yeah. You might have to change some things, and yeah. There's a Mint CRX for sale here, and it's killing me. They are the cheater car of SPL, man. They really, really are. Tubby, we need 100 watt, 1 meter ratings on SPL subs. I mean, even more. You know, like, I feel like you could, but even then, it's like, it would probably be mostly at the FS, and would you be able to hit any kind of power of what it's rated at, free air, and at its FS? Probably not. Like 30 watts. You know what I mean? I think it's ugga-duggan. But still, that's why it's 1 watt. But right, just for an idea, maybe like a 1 watt metering, a 2 watt, a 4 watt, you know, incrementally doubling every time, so that you can kind of see if it's going to be linear or if it's, you know, not, you know, might give you a good idea. Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm almost caught up. Woo. The Street Series mid 7s and 9 are the flattest, smoothest, measuring and sounding pro sound style. He said it. Well, I said it too, but he said it also. Speakers I have ever heard. And the tweets with the included resistor capacitor are amazing. You know, I've been meaning to add one of those guys in there, and I just have the gain at literally nothing now, Kip, and it sounds okay. You know, when you got full control, maybe you don't need the resistor, but whenever you don't, you need that resistor so you're not sending a ton of power and the, you know, just capacitor for, you know, just different things of like crossovers and power limiting with both of those. But right, man, they sound amazing. Like when you play one by itself, you're like, okay, it sounds good, but I could tell it's not a coaxial. I could tell it's not a, you know, it's not a full speaker. And then you put a tweeter, that super tweeter that they made for it, the 7 for the 1 and the 9 for the 1.5, so that it blends together. And then it just comes alive. Obviously, if you play the Street Series tweeter by itself, yeah, it sounds like tweet, 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 just tweeting, man. It's nothing. You put them together, it's like, wow, this is loud and it sounds good. It's not distortion. You know, it's whenever something is loud, it doesn't make your ears always hurt. Yes, inherently, just louder is going to make your ears maybe hurt to a certain point, but it's the distortion. You know, if you sit there and you're like, man, I'm tired of listening to this level, most likely you have distortion going on with most systems. Cornut gifted a membership. Would you look at that?
Cornut. He does traveling installs.
That is real footage of Cornut stealing the caboose. And we got to throw Joe on here.
Because we don't want you to blow it up. So turn the gain down, Andy.
Everyone always forgets about Joe Hobart. And this guy is a genius when it comes with amplifiers. And thank you, Cornut. Appreciate you for donating that. He's coming early because he missed a caboose last time, man. Jason got him. But absolutely, Kip, they are amazing speakers, and I want to get more. I keep, you know, when I went to Mecca, everyone's like, man, I want those. Man, I want those. How did you get them to sound like that? It's like, you know, like, oh, did you build a box behind it? I'm like, no, that's just fiberglass and fur. You know, I'm sure the fur helps a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, no, man, and it's just, I dialed it in, and I was starting with a great foundation to begin with, and yeah, they sound great. They really do. He runs 14 gauge wire with Amazon RCAs on my bench. Works great. Hey, you know, and it's just to twist the wires so that whenever you get any kind of interference, it just doesn't, what is it? If you had them just straight, I think you would get some kind of like, well, obviously the interference into it more so than them not being twisted. And that helps with the electromagnetic field of just that. Science rules. I love it. If you play with the windows, the whole car basically becomes a fourth order. Bingo. You're in a box with a box with a box and a box and a box and a box with a box and a port. You know, and right. And that's where things change when you put it into a vehicle. You can have the best software with this enclosure, and then you put it into a car and everything's different. Everything. Port loading. Subwoofer loading. You might have less loading than you thought because the subwoofer is close to some kind of loading wall in the vehicle. You know, a trunk, a seat, whatever. And then you have it sealed up, right? That's fine. You got all kind of a little bit of cancellation going back and forth. You open that window, you're like, whoa, it got louder. And it's because you just made your car a ported box and you're sitting right at the end of the port when your head's there. And when you have the right system and the right tuning, the right amount of power, it's like putting paper on a port. You start doing hair tricks with your head. And that's what it becomes, any kind of band pass enclosure. In a sense, it's just another order of the sound waves, you know, trying to fight to go through something. And are they going to go through that effectively or not, depending the port tuning or depending the window opening and depending so many other variables that I couldn't even start to get into. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you tuning in. And absolutely, sir, proceeds to look at Colby buy a Dayton DATS 100 only to test his Scar SVRs. And I mean, you gotta learn somewhere. I still need to do a video with my Scar SDR 18, and I just never built a box for it. And I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, you got base, and it's an 18 for $169. That's, 600 RMS. I'd put like 4 to it. That's all it needs. And you'd be pretty loud, Yeah, bass, yeah. There's Justin. He's just here for the outro. He's like, come on, man. You are running past. We are an hour and 30 minutes. What is going on? Thank you for tuning in again, Justin. I appreciate that you're here, man. DIY Marks, Maker Marks guy. You know the guy. You know him. I just so happen to be sipping some Maker's Mark right now. It was so great to just hang out with you, Justin, at the, call it the Green Team house, man. Just all the guys that tune in here, tune into Kicker, tune into your show, tune in just car audio on the YouTube world of things. And you stopped by, and I got to see you, man. That's awesome. And Slamology, just the whole nine. And meeting you guys in person, it's awesome. Thank you for tuning in, man. I appreciate that you're here. Ultra high frequencies, bingo, green eggs and ham, boxes and boxes to plan. Kipism right there. We got John. John's got jokes and Kip's got Kipisms. John's always joking, man. I love his jokes. They are top tier, man. Just super dad level, and they're great. They're great. And Kip, man, he hasn't skipped a beat, man. Appreciate you, Kip, and absolutely a box and a box and a box. And with Cookie Monster, with how big that box is, and it's not a wall. Truly, it acts like an adjustable 6-order wall, because one, the trunk flexes, so you're having a little less cancellation maybe, or being able to play a little bit lower because like you got some of the back wave kind of escaping. Maybe that helps and hurts at different frequencies, but it, wasted information wise, I think it helps a little bit, and you're getting a little less cancellation between front wave, rear wave. And then when you put the windows down, you get that wide open, 6-order port of 49 hertz that you usually would tune something, or 52 hertz on a 6-order wall, the big opening you see on all of them. And whenever I put one window down, it's like I just made that smaller. And then I'm able to float things. And whenever I learned, wow, this thing can hair trick with a 14 cubic foot box, easily, on 600 watts. That's why. But still, it just made that port small. It was changing that tuning of that, the amount of port area in a sense. It's really crazy with how physics work with sound waves and coupling and nulls, and just how it rarefies and rectifies, I don't know, bassology stuff, of just making pressure, acoustic levitation. That is the coolest thing, and we all call them hair tricks nowadays. But I think that is copyrighted now. I'm not 100% sure. Imagine hearing a song when you realize you gotta build another box. Oh no, cue the circle of life. Speaking of queuing things, we're going to cue this outro. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me tonight. I love you so much. I had a blast. We did an hour and 40 minutes, man. I had a lot of energy in me, and after almost losing the show yesterday, I was like, be grateful for what you have. So, and I'm happy that I was able to do this tonight, and I love you guys that tuned in. Make sure you tune in this Tuesday. I think we're just going to do an Ask Me Anything. Pretty much, you guys bring up the questions. Literally what we're doing here, but we're going to have a bigger audience, so we're going to have more questions, and maybe I'll think of some things to talk about. Either way, make sure you tune in this Tuesday, and as always, stay living loud. Have an excellent weekend. I'll see you guys. There he is. Yeah, that's what he was waiting for. Appreciate all you guys, man. Oh, there it is. There's Aaron on the mic.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right?
I feel like we need more volume here.
We living loud.
There we go. Just a little. right time. Would you look at that? Would you just look at that? You gotta look at it. And when you don't know what to do, you just gotta look at it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. The ones that are still here listening to the outro, I love you guys. Have an excellent weekend. And you know, stay living loud. You know, those pasties.
Livin Loud
Too loud. It's just the kickers, Justin. They were just kickers, man. They're just kickers. And this amplifier, I got to get this back to Cornut. Thank you so much, Cornut, for sending this to me and letting me do a video on that for people to learn about this battery and see what it can do. But I appreciate you guys, and those kicker pasties are 100% and 11. You know, I was a little worried about posting that. Oh, Cornut, are you kidding me? Choo-choo. But I posted it anyway.